Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope we're doing great today. Happy Saturday. Got a lot of matchups I'm going to cover here on this college football slate today. A lot of good action on the board, some huge games. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my betting links in the description below to get in on the action. And hop in, bro, throw guys. Love to have you guys in there. And yeah, we'll hop in here. Gonna start out best matchup of the day. We got Michigan and Ohio State. Two unbeaten teams here are going to be a battle. Ohio State opening up as an 8-point home favorite with the over-under at 56. Michigan coming into this matchup 11-0, 6-4-1 covering the spread. Ohio State 11-0, 5-5-1 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Ohio State is 8-2. Blake Corum is questionable. The best running back on the team for Michigan. We'll see if he plays. Hopefully he does play. It's a huge game. Michigan coming off a 2-point Illinois win. Close game, but able to come out with the win. Ohio State coming off a nice Maryland win. And yeah, both teams, playing amazing football here. I don't really know what to say. Michigan. This is kind of like who you like. It really is. We know how 13-0 at home. Ohio State's great at home. And I think it all comes down to Blake Corum. If Blake Corum ends up missing, I think it's going to be tough for Michigan because he's their guy. And if Blake Corum does play for Michigan, luckily it is a noon game, so we'll know. But if Blake Corum does play, I like Michigan +8. And if Blake Corum does not play, I like Ohio State -8. I like them to win at home. All depend. The fate of this game depends on Blake Corum's health. Next matchup, we got Georgia Tech versus Georgia. Georgia opening up as a 36-point home favorite with the over/under at 49. Georgia Tech coming into this matchup 5-6, 5-6 covering the spread. Georgia 11-0, 6-5 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Georgia is 8-2, 8-2 covering the spread. Head-to-head, 8-2 head-to-head here. Been dominant head-to-head. Georgia Tech coming off a big North Carolina win. That was a huge win for them. Georgia coming off a nice Kentucky win. Close game though, but that's how usually SEC games are. And Georgia Tech's 3-17 against Georgia. 1-5 covering against Georgia. Georgia 16-0 at home. Unbelievable for them how they're winning at home, just at a high rate. And very high spread. I'm still going to take Georgia -36 because they could easily destroy Georgia Tech here. I would throw Georgia Tech in a teaser, man. Get those points lowered a bit if you're going to take the spread here, because you can only take the spread. But we'll take a shot with Georgia and the points. Next matchup, we got South Carolina versus Clemson. Clemson opening up as a 14-point home favorite with the over/under at 53. South Carolina coming into this matchup 7-4, 6-5 covering the spread. Clemson 10-1, 6-5 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Clemson is 7-3. South Carolina coming off just a monster win against Tennessee, 63-38. What an unbelievable game. Spencer Rattler having the biggest game of his career. Clemson coming off a huge Miami win. They're hot right now too. South Carolina 0-7 against Clemson. 1-4 covering against Clemson. Clemson 10-0 at home. Look, it's gonna be tough for Spencer Rattler to come right into Clemson and get a win. That defense is gonna be tough. They're gonna be all over him. It was really good what they did last week here, but man, it's going to be tough against Clemson. This is a much better defense than Tennessee had last week. I'm going to take Clemson -13.5 and money line at home. Next matchup, we got Louisville versus Kentucky. Kentucky opening up as a 3-point home favorite with the over/under at 43. Louisville coming into this matchup 7-4, 7-4 covering the spread. Kentucky 6-5, 7-4 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Louisville is 6-4. Louisville coming off a nice NC State win. Malik Cunningham is questionable. That's a big factor. Kentucky on a 2-game losing streak, coming off a Georgia loss and a Vanderbilt loss. Yeah, Kentucky, it's been a rough season for them. And Yeah, if Malik Cunningham does play, I do like Louisville plus 3.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got Auburn versus Alabama. Bama opening up as a 22-point home favorite with the over-under at 50.5. Auburn coming into this matchup 5-6, 5-6 covering the spread. Bama 9-2, 5-6 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Bama is 7-3. Auburn on a 2-game winning streak, coming off a Western Kentucky win. Bama on a 2-game winning streak, coming off a 34-0 win against Austin, PA. Yeah, Auburn just 2-6 against Bama. 4-2 covering the spread against Bama here. Bama is 20-0 at home, 5-0 at home against Auburn. The one thing with Bama, though, they're 1-5 covering the spread right now. Penn big favorites haven't been able to cover like you'd expect. I'm going to take a shot with Auburn plus 22 on the road. These games are Auburn and Bama are, they're usually battles. And 22 points, Bama's been, I think Bama definitely wins at home, but 22 points, I could still see them winning by 3 touchdowns and Auburn still getting the cover. Give me Auburn plus 22. Next matchup, we got Oregon versus Oregon State. Oregon opening up as a 3-point road favorite with the over-under at 57.5. Oregon coming into this matchup 9-2, 8-3 covering the spread. Oregon State 8-3, 9-2 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Oregon is 8-2. Oregon coming off a 3-point Utah win. Oregon State on a 2-game winning streak. This is a good Oregon State team here. Gonna be a battle here against Oregon. Oregon 12-2 against Oregon State, 6-1 on the road, playing good on the road, 6-1 covering in their last 7. Oregon State 11-0 covering at home. I mean, both these teams playing good football, but I like Bo Nix. I like Oregon on the road, and we'll take Oregon minus 2.5 in money line here. Next matchup, we got Iowa State versus TCU. Big matchup for TCU here. TCU opening up as a 10-point home favorite with the over-under at 46. Iowa State coming into this matchup 4-7, 6-1 covering the spread. TCU 11-0, 8-2-1 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Iowa State is 5-5. Iowa State, it's been a rough season for them. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Back-to-back games, they have scoring 14 points or less. And TCU still undefeated, coming off that game winner against Baylor. I mean, what a crazy game that was. And Iowa State, they really have 1-7 in their last 8. TCU undefeated, 7-0 at home. Riding TCU, I mean, I want to see them make the playoffs, and they've just been playing. They've been getting some of their games. They've been close. They've been able to get wins here, but this is a very bad Iowa State team, and I'm gonna take TCU minus 9.5 in money line at home. Next matchup, we got Michigan State versus Penn State. Penn State opening up as a 19-point home favorite with the over-under at 53. Michigan State coming into this matchup 5-6, 6-1 covering the spread. Penn State 9-2, 8-3 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Michigan State is 6-4. Michigan State coming off that 8-point loss against Indiana. Penn State on a 3-game winning streak, coming off a big Rutgers win. This Penn State D and offense, they've been playing great football here. Michigan State 1-5 on the road where they have struggled. Penn State 5-0 covering the spread right now, 6-1 at home. I mean, they really are getting it done. And this Michigan State team, it's been rough for Michigan State. It really has. And against the good teams, they've gotten killed, losing 29-7 to Michigan, 49-20 against Ohio State. And not a lot with the spread here. I do like Penn State. Throw them in your money line parlays, but we'll take a shot with Penn State minus 19. But definitely tease it. Get that around 13 or 12. I think that's much more breathable there for Penn State. Next matchup, we got Utah versus Colorado. Utah opening up as a 29.5-point road favorite with the over-under at 52. Utah coming into this matchup 8-3, 6-5 covering the spread. Colorado 1-10, 2-9 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Utah is 9-1. Yeah, Utah been dominant against Colorado. Colorado, one of the worst teams in college football. They are so bad. Utah coming off that 3-point Oregon loss. Tough loss for Utah, but yeah, Colorado, they're on a 5-game losing streak. It's been very rough for Colorado against all the good teams. They've just been getting destroyed. And yeah, we're going to take Utah minus 29.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got LSU versus Texas A&M. LSU opening up as a 10-point road favorite with the over-under at 47.5. LSU coming into this matchup 9-2, 7-4 covering the spread. A&M 4-7, 3-7-1 covering the spread. Head-to-head, LSU is 8-2, 10-0 covering the spread against A&M. Kind of crazy. Yeah, LSU is a great team on a 5-game winning streak. A&M coming off a horrible UMass win. I mean, they're 1-6 in their last 7. Haven't been able to really get any wins in the SEC. It's been rough. Yeah, this A&M team is very bad, and a lot on the line for LSU. They still have playoff hopes, and give me LSU minus 9.5 and money line on the road. Next matchup, we got Notre Dame versus USC. USC opening up as a 4.5-point home favorite with the over-under at 63. Notre Dame coming into this matchup 8-3, 6-5 covering the spread. USC 10-1, 7-4 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Notre Dame is 7-3. Notre Dame, I mean, on a 5-game winning streak, they really have turned it around this season. After losing to Stanford, they've been playing very well. USC coming off a big UCLA win. I mean, hey, big, huge game for USC. I mean, they have a chance to make the playoffs. They got to win out here. This is definitely a tough test for them. USC 6-0 at home. I like USC here. I've been riding USC all season, and it's a must-win game for them here. And I think they find a way to get it done here against a tough Notre Dame team. Give me USC minus 4.5 and money line at home. Next matchup, we got Tennessee versus Vanderbilt. Tennessee opening up as a 14-point road favorite with the over-under at 63.5. Tennessee coming into this matchup 9-2, 8-3 covering the spread. Vanderbilt 5-6, 5-6 covering the spread. Head-to-head, both teams have won 5 out of their last 10 meetings. Tennessee coming off that horrible South Carolina loss. They did lose their starting quarterback, Hendon Hooker. He's gone for the year. Van got a 2-game winning streak coming off a nice Kentucky and Florida win. It's crazy. Tennessee 1-5 covering against Vanderbilt. 1-4 covering on the road against Vanderbilt. Very interesting. Tennessee here. Vanderbilt 2-18 against the SEC. These 2 wins are the first 2 they've gotten in the last few years. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I know Vanderbilt's been good and stuff, and the backup quarterback that came in for Hooker, he looked pretty solid. I don't think it's going to be like such a big drop-off. We know how good Hendon Hooker is, but I think Tennessee bounces back here. The offense is still going to be fast-paced. And South Carolina, I don't know what it was last week, but they just played elite. I'm not sure Vanderbilt is capable of doing that, so I'll take Tennessee minus 13.5 and money line on the road. Next matchup, we got Kansas versus Kansas State. Kansas State opening up as an 11.5-point home favorite with the over-under at 62.5. Kansas coming into this matchup 6-5, 7-3-1 covering the spread. Kansas State 8-3, 7-3-1 covering the spread. Head-to-head, Kansas State is 10-0. They've been dominant head-to-head here. Kansas on a 2-game losing streak. Yeah, 1-5 in their last 6. Kansas, they had a good stretch early on the season. They were very hot, and it's definitely cooled down and kind of back to reality here. Kansas State coming off a big West Virginia win. They're playing very well right now, and yeah, Kansas, they just can't beat Kansas State for whatever reason here. And Kansas State 6-0 at home against Kansas. Yeah, give me Kansas State minus 11.5 and money line at home. And then the last matchup, we got Washington versus Washington State. Washington opening up as a 2-point road favorite with the over-under at 60. Washington coming into this matchup 9-2, 6-5 covering the spread. Washington State 7-4, 8-3 covering the spread head-to-head. Washington is 8-2 where they've been dominant here. Washington, they're on a 5-game winning streak coming off a big Colorado win. Washington State, they're on a 3-game winning streak. Playing pretty well. Both teams playing well to close out the season. Washington is 7-1 in their last 8 against Washington State. 6-1 covering against Washington State. Yeah, I like the Huskies a little bit more in this matchup here. I like the offense better. I want to take Washington -2 and money line on the road. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Saturday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Sunday. Have a good one.